Okay. First we have Aunt Maybelle, Miss Barnett, and a young Christian, Shanika, Debbie, you coming in, Marcus? And Marcus. Okay, now.
Okay. Good afternoon. For all of you who are sharing part of your Saturday with me, you are not the average person. You are technologically advanced and emotionally responsible, and you are helping to lead our world forward in a responsible way. So I applaud you for your social consciousness, and I thank you for being here today. I'm here because most people would agree that the use of cell phones has revolutionized our way of life. You know, it's convenient, you can work when you're traveling, but when you have a cell phone and you're behind the wheel of a car, it has also revolutionized our way of death. Okay? I'm here because I would like you to know that driving behind the wheel with a cell phone is never a safe thing to do, and you should never do it. This fact is why some U.S. states, such as New York and Maryland, have already made it illegal to use a handheld phone while you're driving. The National Safety Council has estimated that cell phone use has caused 1.6 million automobile crashes a year. And this is like 28% of the national average. So the number of families who have lost a loved one in the U.S. last year due to a car accident is 33,808 people. So if even one of those were using a cell phone when that accident occurred, that's one too many. My name is Lee Hoyt, and I came to persuade you, as I said, that using a cell phone behind the wheel of a car is not safe and it should never be done. I've come here to tell you today that the numbers don't lie. It's irrefutable that driving while using a cell phone impairs your driving ability. I aim to discuss some of the safety campaigns that are going on to bring attention to this hazard, and I would also like to give you some alternatives to driving using a handheld device. Reports as early as 2003 has shown that talking on any cell phone impairs your mental ability almost as much as being drunk. The .08 legal blood alcohol limit, you drive worse when you're drunk than when you're driving on the cell phone. A recent Virginia Tech Transportation Institute study found that motorists using a cell phone are 4 times more likely to have an accident when if they're using a cell phone. And this rate is comparable to those who are legally drunk. Dialing a cell phone increases your chance of accidents by 6 times, and texting increases your chance of an accident by 23 times. Yes. So according to a study by University of Utah psychologists, people who were on cell phones when they were driving, they drove more slowly, they braked more slowly, and they were more likely to crash. In fact, the 3 participants in the study, the ones that ran into the pace car were the ones on the phone. The drunken drivers did not crash at all. So, what this means for us, drivers using handheld cell phones took about half a second longer to react than a driver under normal circumstances. And what this means in real life terms is that if you were driving 70 miles per hour and you were on a cell phone, you would travel an extra 46 feet before even reacting to a danger in the road. And that, in many, many cases, has already proved to be the difference between life and death. And it's unfortunate, but the United States is really behind a lot of other countries in dealing with traffic fatalities. Since 1995, France has cut their deaths by 52%. Great Britain has cut their deaths by 38%, and Australia by 25%. We have cut our deaths from traffic fatalities by only 19% in all those years. So those numbers, it's obvious that changes need to be made in how we respond to these lives being lost. As of April 2010, Maryland voted to ban handheld phones in the car, and they're taking leads from other states. And this legislation is seen as an indication that lawmakers are now not just focusing on texting in the car, they're also focusing just on using a phone in the car because they recognize how unsafe it is. The U.S. Department of Transportation, Mr. Ray LaHood, has a new campaign, and it's called Phone in One Hand, Ticket in the Other. And a lot of states now, including our state, will not allow people to drive if you're like under 18 or with a learner's permit. You may not have a cell phone in the car at all. So laws are coming into place to recognize this hazard, but I'm here to say that we can all, before a law comes into place, we should all recognize that it's a hazard and we can do something about it. Even influential entertainers, the most notable being Oprah Winfrey, is responding to this hazard, and she proclaimed April 30th as a No Phone Zone Day, and they had anti-cell phone rallies in the district, Atlanta, Boston, Detroit, and Los Angeles. So everybody is trying to get everybody to recognize that it's not safe. And although much has been started to stop cell phone use, the National Safety Council reports that cell phone driving has become a serious public threat. So I want to talk to you next about what you can do, the things that you can do to help prevent some tragedies like this from occurring. And the first thing is a common sense tip, and it's simply don't use your cell phone while you're driving. And I know it's funny because when I said it, I even had to laugh because I do it all the time. And reading these reports, I really realized that it's not safe and it's something that I have to stop doing. So now I put my cell phone in the car. I'm in my purse in the back seat, so I'm not tempted to look at it and at the red lights, you know, I'll look at and see what's going on, my social statuses. But it's so unsafe that I try to keep my cell phone in the back seat so I'm not tempted. So that's the first thing. We could just simply don't do it. If you're a business person and you have to have a meeting, then you can have somebody tell them when to call you. The second thing you can do, they have a lot of Bluetooth technology now out in the market that you can use to help you. There's one that you can use on as a bracelet, as a speakerphone, and you can carry it around with you and talk on the phone all the time. There's one by BlackBerry, and you can put it on the visor of your car, and everything is controlled by your voice. And although the studies show that it's still not safe being in the car, on the phone, being distracted at all, please at least try to minimize the distractions by doing something, not using your hands, so having everything voice controlled. And that will really make it much easier. Because it's not just what you're doing with your hands, it's that your head is in the conversation, so your eyes are not on the road. And what makes cell phones distinct from other risky driving behaviors is the magnitude. Because there are 270 million people with cell phones, and 80% of those drive. So if 80% are driving behind the wheel, that really opens up to a lot of accidents. And that's why this issue just cannot be ignored. So in conclusion, as I said, I've come here to tell you that the numbers don't lie. It's obvious that using a cell phone while in the car is not safe, and you really shouldn't do it. There are a lot of safety campaigns out there going on to try to get people aware of the difficulties and the hazards, but you can be responsible and aware and do something today. And I hope that I have persuaded you in such. Thank you so much. And is there any questions? Anybody have any questions? No. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions? No? Thank you.